Good morning, church. It's good to be with you today. And we're going to be in John chapter 17, talking about why we're not removed from the world. Jesus is praying here. He says, I am not praying that you take them out of the world, but that you protect them from the evil one. They are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. Sanctify them by the truth. Your word is truth. As you have sent me into the world, I also sent them into the world. I sanctify myself for them, so that they also may be sanctified by the truth. One of our great joys is that we get to do God's will, and that He equips us to do it. Sometimes I wonder why once we're saved, God doesn't just kind of zap us out like He did Elijah or Enoch, just to say, mission accomplished, you're saved, here we go. But He says, I'm not praying that you take them out of the world. Sometimes as Christians, we get the idea that we need to cloister ourselves out. This was most manifest in the monastery movement with the monks and the nuns, to remove themselves out from corruption and of influence from the world. But when that happens, we no longer are able to be an influence to the world, because Jesus says in verse 18, as you sent me into the world, I also have sent them into the world. So our mission is mirroring that of Christ, to proclaim His word, ideally so that just like Jesus said, we could say, everything I say is what the Father wants me to say. Everything I do is what the Father wants me to do. That's kind of the Christian goal, the Christian standard. And so, church, I just want to encourage you today as we enter into this Christmas season, which is almost upon us. I can't hardly believe it. But that we resist the urge to remove ourselves from every challenging situation because it makes us uncomfortable and we just want to be with our Christian friends, which is highly understandable. It's a lot easier and even more pleasant. But let's heed the words of Christ, just as He entered our world as a babe, and He was helpless, He was humble. So we are to go out, and if we're to succeed, it's only by the power of Christ, because we're a lot like that baby Jesus when it comes to facing the power of the enemy on our own. There's not much we can do. But when we're empowered by God's Holy Spirit, we are conquerors and more than conquerors by His power and in His name. So let us be sanctified by the word of truth to go out and delight in the power of our God.